let me start by saying a big thank you to all of the attendees who have joined today. Just want to go through a couple of housekeeping items before we get kicked off and sort of talk about who we are as an organization and what our time together is going to look like. The first thing to mention is that all of the attendees will be remaining on mute throughout the duration of the presentation. However, if you have any questions, we definitely want to discuss with you. You can go ahead and chat me, the host for today's webinar, Jerry Van Dalen. You can also chat Fermin Rodriguez, our managing director at SmarterCommerce. Through the Zoom tool. And again, we'd love to answer any questions that you may have. Again, chat us directly. And then with that, I can introduce the last member of our team, Diego Fernandez, who is a senior product manager. He's also going to be walking through part of today's session. So for anybody who's not familiar, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about who SmarterCommerce is. I know that we've got a mixed crowd who may already be familiar with some of our solutions, but again, for the sake of ensuring that everybody's on the same page, SmarterCommerce has been around for actually close to 30 years at this point. All 30 of those years, we have been focused on helping JD Edwards customers make the most of their investments. We've done that through a consulting practice, again, dating back to the early 90s. And into the 2000s, we began developing a series of solutions that really focus around helping JD Edwards organizations launch successful projects by automating, or rather by uniting their commerce systems and ERP, that is JD Edwards, into one simple and automated system. Again, through our consulting work and our family of products, SmarterCommerce, we've completed over 500 projects internationally and domestically in the US as well. As an organization, we're based in South Florida in the Miami area, but we also have a network of professionals working all across the US and an office in San Jose, Costa Rica. So with that said, just a little bit more around our story. You know, after helping businesses for 20 years, what we came to realize was that a really common problem that a lot of tech and business leaders encounter when they're trying to launch and refine digital commerce projects revolves around a lack of connection. Now, when we say the term or use the term lack of connection, really what we're talking about is a lack of connection between your ERP and your digital commerce platform. And sometimes this lack of connection can lead to tech and business leaders feeling overwhelmed because you've got this big project going on, but you don't feel like you have the platform or the resources to succeed. Or sometimes you can try and integrate these mainstream platforms with JD Edwards and are surprised with the high cost of what it takes to connect all of these systems. And so what SmarterCommerce has done is that we have developed a fully connected e-commerce platform that enables your team to conquer the complexity of integration. And instead of focusing and being distracted and consumed by that complexity, you can instead focus on growth. Just a quick overview of some of our customers. These are all JD Edwards customers. All of them at some point were overwhelmed by a new digital commerce project, and we're also frustrated by the lack of ERP connection between some of the mainstream solutions in the marketplace. And after working with SmarterCommerce, they were able to successfully launch a digital commerce platform, and we're in a position to become an industry leader. Now, for anybody who's not familiar, if you're not familiar with SmarterCommerce, it's helpful to just provide a simple definition. And we like to say that SmarterCommerce is a family of solutions that help companies unite commerce, payments, and retail into one simple and automated system that connects with JD Edwards. This doesn't just mean e-commerce. We've got 5 product pillars. In the payment processing space, we have a solution. We have a retail solution for JD Edwards organizations that have branch or retail needs. We have a sales tax automation solution, which is really a connector to AvaTax. And then we have a call center management solution. But obviously, the focus of today's webinar is going to be on our e-commerce solution. So with that quick overview of who we are as an organization, let me just dive into what our agenda is going to look like for the next few minutes. I'll be trying to answer, the basic question, what is digital commerce, as sort of a foundation for our discussion. We'll talk about some of the unique challenges that B2B organizations, JD Edwards organizations, manufacturers, distributors have when they're launching into the e-commerce space, and then some key elements or considerations to overcome these challenges. And then I'll transition over to Diego Fernandez, who will walk us through a couple of examples of how JD Edwards organizations are actually already succeeding in the place of e-commerce. So with that said, let's go through a real basic definition. I think Gartner has a very helpful way of describing or defining digital commerce. It basically defines digital commerce as a platform that enables customers to purchase goods and services through an interactive and self-service experience. And the idea of digital commerce includes the people that are involved, the processes involved, and the technologies. And there's a distinct focus in a digital commerce platform around the customer experience. It's absolutely critical to consider how the customer, how the user is going to be interacting with a platform in the digital space. Now, it might seem a little bit redundant for me to cover or try and define digital commerce, right? The reality is that all of us probably interact with digital commerce platforms, most likely on a daily basis. One example I can think of is a few days ago, I have a newborn in the house and his pacifier kept falling out. And so I did maybe what many of us do. I went to Amazon.com and I typed in a kind of funny sounding, elaborate search term, and I hit enter, and Amazon gave me 50,000 results, probably more. And I browsed for a minute or two and found an option that I thought was pretty decent. I went ahead and clicked on the option. It had decent reviews. I was satisfied with it. I went ahead and added it to cart and then checked out. And 2 days later, it popped up on my door like magic in a cardboard box. Throughout this whole experience, I interacted with intelligent search from Amazon. They were able to understand my search term and give me the results I was looking for. When I clicked onto the product detail page, they gave me exactly the kind of information I was looking for. How much does this cost? How long is it going to get here? Or how long is it going to take to get here? And how many people have bought this product and found it satisfactory? And the checkout process was really easy. All my information was saved. All I had to do was click order, and it showed up in my house 2 days later. Super easy, right? So then why can't B2B organizations just do the same thing? The answer is, well, no, Jerry, it's not easy, right? For manufacturers and distributors, e-commerce needs are actually really, really different than in the B2C space. And they tend to be highly complex when you compare it to a typical B2C experience like the one I just described. To help illustrate some of this complexity, I've sort of outlined some of the key differences here in a couple of slides. First difference is that B2B organizations have very complex product needs. Sometimes products need to be configured. Sometimes there's compatibility that needs to be defined or validated. And the list can go on and on and on in terms of how product needs are more complex on the B2C side than B2B side, that is, than on the B2C side. Additionally, in the B2B space, you have a long history of a customer relationship. Relationships in the B2B space can span tens of years. It's not uncommon, right? On the B2C space, you have a super short customer relationship. If I can be totally honest, when I bought the pacifier holder thing, my entire relationship with that vendor lasted all of about 30 seconds. Will I ever buy from them again? Probably not. It wasn't important to me. Very different in the B2B space. Kind of an obvious one, but in the B2B space, you've got very complex pricing. Almost sometimes on a customer by customer basis, you have negotiated price lists that need to be respected and reflected every time that customer makes a purchase. On the B2C side, you have pretty unidimensional pricing. Obviously, there's discounting and there's a whole theory around how to price things in the B2C space, but from a customer to customer standpoint, it's pretty straightforward. On the B2B side, you have a lot of different departments involved in a decision. Sometimes accounting needs to get involved, finance, you've got the actual procurement team, the person who's identifying a piece of equipment that needs to be purchased, perhaps a manager needs to make an approval, tends to be pretty complex. On the B2C side, you have maybe one or maybe two decision makers. On the B2B side, you have very robust information needs. A customer that is looking for a B2B type product is going to need tons more information, maybe multiple images of a product, technical specification, different attributes, and the list kind of goes on from there. On the B2C side, definitely not the case. You have pretty shallow information needs. On the B2B side, you have extensive customer support needs. meaning somebody always needs to be on the other side of the phone, being able to pick up the phone without having to wait 20 minutes on hold, right? And be able to answer highly complex questions about a product in order for a customer to feel confident that they're making the right purchase. Not the case on the B2C side. Probably everybody on this call has a horror story related to bad customer service when you're interacting with some e-commerce giant like Amazon. You just interact with them way less than on the B2B side. And then the last and perhaps maybe most insightful, B2B channels need to find a way to work in synergy with the existing channels. The odds are that if your organization doesn't have a digital commerce platform today, you obviously do have a sales team that is perhaps driving or flying around the country, selling physical product to customers. You probably have, some sort of a fax or email channel where customers are emailing or faxing orders in. Perhaps you have EDI in place. You have all these different sales channels that already exist. And when a digital commerce channel or strategy gets added to that, that needs to be done in a way that it works in synergy with all of those existing channels. On the B2C side, that is obviously much less emphasized. Obviously, you have the conversation around omni-channel, but you're really just talking about on the web or in person, and that's pretty much it. Now, what happens is that a lot of B2B organizations then realize the need to go into e-commerce, and they'll go ahead and launch an e-commerce platform. But because this e-commerce platform doesn't really connect to JD Edwards, doesn't talk to JD Edwards very well, what happens is that they often lead to subpar experiences. We got some great data from a survey that was done interviewing 500 B2B buyers, and some of the leading feedback for why B2B organizations believe that they have subpar e-commerce experience revolves around being able to trying to order something but not finding it in stock. We have 53% of respondents saying that. Almost half of these B2B buyers feel like they end up calling customer service because they found information on the digital commerce platform that was inaccurate or missing. Again, nearly half found that when they go to find the order status, they realize that some of the information on the website is incorrect. And then last but not least, they're looking at product information and they also realize that it's incorrect, which obviously, all of this leads to a subpar customer experience for a B2B buyer. When they go to a website, when they go to a digital commerce platform that your organization has invested in, their expectation is to receive the same kind of outstanding user experience, outstanding customer experience that you provide for them over the phone with a salesperson, and the list goes on. Now, if you kind of distill all of these challenges in the B2B space to a couple of different categories, I think a helpful way of understanding them is that one of the key challenges revolves around simplifying the complexity for the customer experience. We've already gone through a few examples. B2B commerce tends to be very complex. However, in dealing with your customer, they don't want to see or deal or sort through any of that complexity. So whatever platform B2B organizations invest in, it needs to find a way to seamlessly simplify that complexity for the customer. If you have thousands of SKUs, for example, you have to find a way for a customer to find the exact product they're looking for, whether it's allowing them to search by serial number or perhaps allowing them to interact with an enterprise search engine that would sort products easily for them. Maybe a customer has a very complex pricing setup inside of JD Edwards. The goal here is not to let them see all of that complexity in terms of calculation. All you want to show them is what is the actual true price for this one product, and then move forward with that. And the last item that I have there is just around inventory, right? The way that your organizations calculate inventory commitment and inventory allocation can be very complicated. But when a customer's shopping on a digital commerce platform, they don't want to see any of that. They just want to be able to identify a product and then complete their transaction. And then the second challenge that a lot of B2B organizations face, again, sort of summarizing some of the points that we talked about in the last couple of slides, really revolves around managing information. You've got a lot of products, you have a lot of content and information and business logic that goes into each one of those products. The key is to find a platform, find a process that allows you to manage that information in a streamlined fashion. We're talking about e-commerce content, things that you and me see on a digital commerce platform whenever we shop on them, images, documents, catalogs, descriptions, search terms, attributes, things of that nature. You have to find a unified way to manage customer pricing. The goal here is not to add to the complexity of your existing systems. The goal here is to simplify. And the same applies for inventory rules, order status, the list goes on. Whatever platform your team chooses to invest in needs to be a platform that helps you do your job better, doesn't add to the complexity, add to the responsibility when it comes to managing information. So if we ask a really basic question, now that we understand some of the challenges, right? Jerry, you've spoken for about 10 minutes now, 15 minutes now about this whole complexity when it comes to B2B commerce. I get that. I understand that B2B commerce can be difficult. So how is it that JD Edwards B2B organizations can launch a successful e-commerce strategy? Now, I'm going to go into this, and I don't want to oversimplify things, but it really does start with prioritizing the customer experience. Now, I get it. There's probably some eyes rolling right now in the audience behind your computer screen, and I get it. Let's go into it. What exactly do we mean by prioritizing the customer experience? Well, what SmarterCommerce has found over 20 years of helping JD Edwards organizations launch successful digital commerce platforms or projects is that the key to providing an outstanding customer experience, the foundation per se, is having one single source of the truth. Now, you may ask yourself, what do you mean by a single source of the truth? We're talking about business data, business logic being stored in one location when it comes to customer information, pricing information, inventory, payments, ordering, reporting, and the list goes on and on and on. What SmarterCommerce has done is that we leverage the JD Edwards connection. We leverage JD Edwards as that single source of business process and business data. Likely everybody on this webinar is familiar with JD Edwards. You guys know that JD Edwards is your single source of the truth. So what SmarterCommerce does is that we recognize that and we leverage JD Edwards in all of those different areas. Leverage JD Edwards in all of those different areas. Now, we may ask as well, what about all of that e-commerce content that really isn't managed well within JD Edwards? Things like product images, long descriptions, things of that nature. Well, all of that information is then managed within SmarterCommerce so that SmarterCommerce enhances the e-commerce related data and business process on top of JD Edwards, but never in conflict. So instead of your team having to duplicate e-commerce information, JD Edwards logic, JD Edwards data on your e-commerce platform and within JD Edwards, and sort of managing the back and forth, maybe through some sort of a feed that happens once a day or batching data back and forth, obviously opening up the potential for all kinds of contradictions. SmarterCommerce totally eliminates that. And that power of connection, again, is the key to providing, at least the foundation to providing an outstanding customer experience. What we have found in working with organizations is that this approach does two primary things. There's two primary benefits. The first is that by leveraging connection, your team radically limits the complexity for a digital commerce operation. I just described a minute ago that most mainstream platforms, most e-commerce platforms in the marketplace today that don't have native integration to JD Edwards ultimately solve this problem by creating a very basic back and forth batch sort of process that happens every other hour, every 6 hours or maybe once a day that just manages information back and forth. But without that deep native integration, really what you're doing is adding complexity to the digital commerce experience, not just for your customers, but also for your internal IT folks as well. And then additionally, by leveraging JD Edwards connection natively, you're also empowering your business to be able to take control of the e-commerce platform. And instead of focusing on solving all of the challenges of a non-integrated platform, now what you're doing is allowing the business to create an outstanding customer experience, and you can therefore focus on growth. Again, so what we came to find, if we're going to summarize things before we dive into a few examples of how some JD Edwards organizations have been successful in the world of e-commerce, some key points around how to deliver a winning e-commerce strategy. The first point here really revolves around transparency. What do we mean by that? We mean that you have to know your customer, know what they want in an e-commerce platform, know how your customers shop. Do they prefer searching? Do they prefer typing in a product number? Do they prefer uploading an Excel? Understand their ordering needs of your customers really is the first step to launching a successful e-commerce strategy. What we mean by transparency is that you have the access to this insight. And on that note there of transparency and access to the insight of what your customers want, analytics also plays a role into this, so that your team can analyze what products, what behaviors are the most replicated within your customers, and then you can generate an e-commerce strategy that makes it easier for your customers to do so. The second is reliability, the second key to delivering a winning e-commerce strategy. What we mean by that is making it 100% guaranteed that the information that your customer is presented on a digital commerce platform is totally accurate every single time. Right? The more times your customers see information that isn't correct on the e-commerce platform, the more likely they're going to pick up the phone and call customer service to place that same order, or unfortunately go somewhere else, perhaps take their business to a competitor. You'll recall in one of the earlier slides that so much of a B2B customer's challenge with a digital commerce platform revolves around having incorrect information. If you're going to put an e-commerce platform out there, you have to make sure that it's reliable for the customer, that the information and the process and the data that they see online is exactly the same process and data that they're going to get if they pick up the phone and call the sales rep. Point number 3 really revolves around convenience. And we all know what this is, right? We're talking about making it easy to do business with your organization. The goal here is to empower your customers with the information, empower them with the tools for them to be able to do what they want to do online. Shopping for products, maybe it's to pay invoices, maybe it's to check order status, maybe it's to see how many outstanding invoices they have, or download a PDF of a previous order, and the list kind of goes on. Whatever it is that you're going to allow your customers to do online via capabilities, make sure that it's convenient for them to do so. Everybody on this call knows what a clunky e-commerce experience feels like, right? We can think back to the days, perhaps in 2005, when you were interacting with e-commerce platforms that were so inconvenient that it almost frustrated you, right? Everybody knows that a clunky experience repels customers, and instead a clunky experience repels them instead of inviting them to participate in the e-commerce strategy that your team is investing in. The last point here really revolves around personalization. Customers want to be able to experience a platform that shows them their specific pricing, their specific shipping terms, their account history, catalog selection. You know that in the world of B2B, every customer has a unique relationship with your organization. And so it's absolutely critical that in your e-commerce strategy, you find a platform that can reflect that personalized service, that personalized experience back to your customer. Otherwise, they're going to feel like they're just one of 10,000 other customers, that relationship really isn't honored or reflected online, and they're going to end up calling the phone to place an order, or they're going to move to a competitor's solution as well. And then sort of underscoring all this is the idea of trust, which really is the foundation to any relationship, including B2B customer relationships. It's absolutely critical that you orient your strategy around building trust into the customer relationship. And that really can be achieved through some of the strategy points that we just mentioned on this slide. Customers want to know that the long-standing and profitable relationship that they have with your organization is being honored through convenience, reliability, and personalization on the e-commerce platform that they're now interacting with. So with that said, what we're going to do now is transition over to Diego Fernandez. And he's actually going to show us a few examples of what it looks like for JD Edwards organizations to succeed in the world of e-commerce. Every JD Edwards customer is different. So many different industry needs when you kind of go through the industry verticals. And so how is it that JD Edwards organizations have been able to drive successful e-commerce growth in a variety of different ways? So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen Diego, I'll ask you to start sharing your screen and get us kicked off with the next stage of our webinar here. On that note, again, if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to put it through the meeting chat. You can chat me directly or chat Fermin Rodriguez, the other co-host, directly as well. Diego, I am seeing your screen and I think we're ready to kick off here.
Oh, thank you, Jerry, and good afternoon or good morning to everyone on the call. As Jerry mentioned, I'm going to go through some live customer examples and talk a little bit about each one, and then we'll dive in a little deeper into our demonstration site so we can see other capabilities. I'm going to begin with one of our larger customers, Linde Gas. Linde is a gas and equipment manufacturer and distributor. They distribute industrial gases and engineerings for the welding business, for different types of gases in all different types of industries. Now, what's unique about Linde is not only do they have a virtual presence through their website, lindedirect.com, but they also have a series of physical stores that their customer base, the contractors, the welders, and so on, visit in order to pick up, purchase different products, equipment, tools, and so on for the work that they're needing to accomplish. Now, through their network of these 300 plus physical stores, along with the website, they manage over 100,000 SKUs that they sell both through the website and at many of their stores. And they have a little over 100,000 web users already using the site for different types of activities. Main activities obviously is to place orders, but they also look up order statuses and make payments online due to open invoices or open balances that are due against their account. So let's go out and visit their website for a moment and sort of review some of the capabilities. So here's their website, lindedirect.com. This is how they present themselves. This is their home page that we're interacting with. And they like right from the home page to really represent the different categories of products that they manage for those 100,000 plus SKUs that they sell over the website and across all their network of physical stores, and along with all of the different brands and lines that they work with, and be able to talk about obviously their various stores, locations, and how to do business with them. Now, what does a typical customer come to do? Well, obviously, once I'm an established customer, I may have already set my delivery location as to where I'm located so that I can have my physical store that's nearest me in case I want to see inventory in that store, or in case I want to go by and pick up a product that I need for a specific job. I can go out and find other stores within the area by looking up other areas. If I'm doing a job maybe outside of a particular area, I can look at other resources through the site, be able to download different data sheets, information about products, look up any type of information and be able to interact. As you can see, this is a full service website, allowing the customer really to self-service themselves for the information that they're desiring and needing. But what is the main purpose of coming to a site? Well, the main purpose really of coming to a site is to purchase products. So I, as a user, may be doing a job and I need to replace maybe a tool or part. So what's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and type in a series of keywords for a particular product that I may be looking for. I needed to replace a gas regulator on certain tanks. I can go out there immediately and see the various options. I know that it's a Victor SR regulator that I need, 125 PSI, and immediately that I put in my keywords, the site starts giving me either search suggestions or even product suggestions based on those keywords, so that I can one click go right to the product that I am desiring, that I need in order to purchase. I can see the information on that product. I can see all the specifications of that product. I can see other products that may be of interest to me, and I can see whether or not I want it delivered or I want to go right to the physical store since they have it in inventory. As you can see here, the site is interacting not only with the distribution warehouse so that I can just ship the product to a specific location, but I can also right through here doing omni-channel. I can go and see the inventory of the store that's closest to me or other stores and pick up that product because I need it immediately in order to complete my job. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I go ahead and select the pickup at the store, and I can go ahead and add that product right to my shopping cart. And now that it's in my cart, I can jump over to the shopping cart. I can see that it's ready. It's at the store of my choosing, which in this case is the Woodridge store, and I can start my checkout. And then obviously I could log in as with my credentials in order to place the order and then drive by the store and pick up that regulator so that now I can complete the job. So as Jerry mentioned earlier in the presentation, one of the key things you need to focus on for your site in order to provide that experience to your user is understand that they need a robust search engine. A quick, easy way to key in a series of keywords, product numbers, descriptors in order to find that product, purchase it for what they need, and go on to the next step with just a few clicks. So that's one example of how one of our customers has taken our solution and really personalized it to their customer needs, how they want to represent themselves, how their customers interact. And through here, customers are able to, log in, pay invoices online, see their order statuses, and so on. Now let's go and visit and talk a little bit about a second customer that we have here. This customer is Morgan Olson. They manufacture a series of vans and trucks, those type vans that you may see FedEx or UPS or USPS driving around, those box type vans and trucks. And they needed a website to allow their customer base that owns all of these trucks to be able to quickly search up parts, replacement parts, and products for the vans that they own. Now, the main way that their customer base comes to the site is that they want to look up on what's called a VIN number, which is similar to maybe a serial number for a manufactured part or a lot number. But here in this case, this is the VIN number of the vehicle, and they want to be able to see all the various parts related to that vehicle. Since they've launched our solution, they've been able to increase their web traffic by more than 500% over the last 4 years since they've launched the solution, converting those customers that used to call into their call center, maybe be on the phone for several minutes to find the exact part that they need, and then go and place the order over the phone and then wait. Here they can quickly go to the website and search the part that they need and purchase it in just a few clicks. So here is their site. Again, morganolsonparts.com. These are all live production sites. And this is where, again, a customer can search via many ways, the traditional search by name or part number or keywords, or if in this case, they're searching mostly by VIN number, being able to type in that serial number or VIN number of the vehicle and search and get an immediate result as to the exact product that this VIN number is associated to. It's a Ford E350 2022 van. And I'd be able to then click into that VIN number and see all of the parts, the hundreds and hundreds of parts that are related to my VIN. And then from here, be able to see the various categories of parts so that I can drill in and purchase the exact part that maybe got damaged. In this example, the right-handed mirror that I need to repurchase because maybe it was damaged recently. So I can drill in and see all of the details, and I can even see the various components that make up the mirror in case I just want to purchase one of the components or purchase the entire mirror as I am here. So quickly and easily, I was able to type in my VIN number, my serial number, my lot number, and be able to search through and get a parts list of the parts that are associated specifically to my van or piece of machinery that I have purchased from Morgan Olson. This is important because I'm giving the user quick and easy ways to find what they need, to be able to purchase what they need without having to search and filter through and try to find exactly what they're desiring. So personalizing the experience, being able to search quickly and finding those needs of that customer. Another customer that I wanted to share and talk a little bit about is Sennheiser. Sennheiser is a global manufacturer and distributor of high fidelity audio equipment. You probably see it on a lot of these singing shows or competitions and so on. The microphones, the speaker system, the various headphones and things of that nature. And then they go to market with a series of dealers and sales representative throughout the world. They're a global organization that sell in over 20 plus countries, and they use our solution throughout the globe in all of these various countries, transacting in 10 plus different currencies and 10 plus different languages, with multiple catalogs that are personalized to that region or area or part of or country, depending on the strategy to market by their sales and marketing team. So this is Sennheiser, and Sennheiser, this is their sales portal to which a sales customer can log in. And I was going to go ahead and log in as an example of a salesperson and representative. So I'm going to go in and key in my credentials here. It validates who I am and immediately goes in and puts me on the main page, gives me some information here. I can see a dashboard of capabilities. I can search up old invoices that I may have. I can see my different ship tos and sales orders and so on. I can also look up particular products here that I may have of interest. If I need a particular maybe microphone, just like we saw earlier, I can go through and start drilling in and seeing and finding the products that I am desiring to purchase quickly and easily. All of this coming in multiple languages. So as a user, the user experience is the same no matter where I'm at. Whether I'm doing what's called a quick order, which is quickly importing that order. And if I'm a customer that is accustomed to working in German or French, I can immediately switch over to the language of my preferred language and work in that language without impacting the functionality or the user experience, but rather personalizing it to my specific needs. So as you can see, this allows the user really to interact in the way that they want to personalize the experience and work with their customer base. So these are 3 examples that we have: Lindy, direct.com, Morgan Olson Parts. Both of these websites are accessible to customers such as yourself if you want to go and visit. Another customer of ours, IDEX Health and Sciences. Each of these customers represents themselves a little differently. So as for Lindy, they're focusing a lot on their products right up front. They're providing ways to categorize those products and purchase those products and then interact with the various stores, physical stores that they have. Morgan Olson, again, aligning to selling of parts to their manufactured vans and trucks that they have and easily find those parts. But in the example of IDEX, not only do they also, obviously sell products and have a full catalog of products to represent their product line, but they're also a very robust information system where they're providing their customers tons of material that talk about their various products that allow customers to go through and find information on their product lines to see if their products align to what they need. They have a lot of documents and PDFs and other information, including information about their industries and press releases. A fully functioning website that allows their customer base to do one-stop shopping, personalized to their needs, but being able to quickly and easily find what it is that they're looking for and purchase not only maybe the product that they're looking for, but also information about those products. So these are various examples of our customers. I'm going to now jump into our demonstration site to talk and show a little bit about some of the capabilities. This allows me obviously to go through and we can play a little bit and see all of the various capabilities. But as you can see, each of these sites looks totally different. The user experience has been personalized to their customer base. We work with you to understand your customer base and really personalize that experience and provide them the information that they need in order to finalize that purchase. Here, this demonstration site is a fictitious company called SmarterTech that sells different types of electronics, such as TV and video equipment, computers, cameras, and so on. But it also has different tools that it sells, such as DeWalt tools and Bosch tools and so on. You can shop by different departments, power tools and hardware tools. And then we have different parts lists of other types of products that we have within our demonstration environment. I'm going to go ahead and sign in as a return customer, maybe a distributor of ours that can come in and purchase a product from us. So here I, as a user, represent a company called Capital Systems, and I am a distributor that I purchase products from SmarterTech, and I can jump over to my dashboard, which is a collection of different capabilities in order to do what I need. I can go out and see, invoice history. I can see the details behind a specific sales order, see all of the information related, what was purchased on that sales order. I can reprint or download the associated documents to this sales order, maybe delivery tickets or the actual invoice that was related to this sales order. I can go through and search on open invoices and make payments right online so that I don't have to call in. I can just go through and select the invoices that are coming due and go through and pay off those invoices quickly and easily, as you can see here. And I can pay via different ways. I can pay with an ACH bank transfer from my bank over to SmarterTech text bank, or I can use a credit card if you allow them to pay with credit card, or other alternative payment methods such as PayPal or PayPal Credit or Apple Pay or Google Pay and other types of payment methods. But here again, just like with other all of our customers, the front end website and how I present myself is personalized to my customer needs, but it's all integrated real time into the back end of JD Edwards. I'm seeing real time information coming from a combination of the content system that we're working with and the JD Edwards solution. Here, as you can see, this TV is sold at $286.15 to this customer, Capital Systems. If I add this product into my shopping cart and I go over to my shopping cart, I can see here the breakdown, the price breakdown, the advanced pricing that I receive automatically from JD Edwards. So the list price of this product is $295, but because I have a relationship with this company, I am getting a preferred customer discount. And I know that if I purchase, 2 or more of these products, I can get additional volume breaks. And as soon as I add in the additional quantities, I can see now that I get a additional volume break of 1% for purchasing more than one of these. If I have a promotion code that is tied in and interacting with advanced pricing, I can key in that promotion code and again, apply that promotion to my order, and again, get advanced pricing, additional discounts, all integrated real time. So we're reading and interacting with JD Edwards on a real-time basis so that your customers, not only is the information of the products personalized, but the pricing is their pricing. The availability of the product is the availability found within your inventory system. We manage all of that integration real time so that your customer, and the information provided to your customer over the web is the same as if they were to call in to your call center and interact with a salesperson. The same way they can go through and search on keywords for particular products to be able to find specifically those products that they're needing. Or they can, search on a particular type of product that maybe they're looking for to find, or they had purchased before, and then go in to try to purchase that product and see that, well, this product's now been obsoleted within JD Edwards, and I can go and check for replacements or substitutes to that product or that part, depending on their needs. So a lot of capabilities at the fingertips of your customers, many ways to purchase, as such as a robust search engine, multiple catalogs capability, along with quick order capabilities. Maybe your customers want to work their orders outside the system. They purchase the same products over and over from you, and all they want to do is work it outside and just quickly, import those products right in into the website and place that order with just a few clicks, so that they don't have to go through the process of searching and adding product by product. So I can quickly find my Excel spreadsheet that I've worked outside the system, log in, and import my order directly into my shopping cart, and then place that order right into JD Edwards. So now I'm in my shopping cart. I've got my order totals. I've gotten my discounts that apply based on the products. I can see everything. I can review. I can see my freight, taxes, any order level discounts that have kicked in. I can see all of my related addresses that are related within the address book and customer master. And maybe I want to deliver this order to a different warehouse location rather than the default location that I have set up within the system. So very easy, one click, be able to import that order, place that order, and have it shipped to the warehouse of my desire. Once I have that information, I may need to put in a PO number as part of this order, and then continue to how I want to pay for this order. I can again see my order totals, all of my information. We have integrated point systems if you want to provide your customer base incentives on when they purchase with you to be able to accumulate points and then reuse those to get additional discounts, to really boost that brand loyalty and customer loyalty with your customer base. And then obviously, if the customer has terms, such as this customer, I can place my order against terms and credit limit and be able to place that order directly into JD Edwards. Here is my order, 8494, and this is the power of our system. Real-time integration with your JD Edwards. Robust content information personalized to your customer, along with giving them real-time information coming from one source of the truth, being your JD Edwards solution. Real-time pricing, real-time inventory availability, real-time information on all of your products. And immediately that order is placed via the web, the order is then placed into your JD Edwards solution to be processed, picked, packed, and shipped just like any other order. Now this order has come in, and it can start the process of picking, because we already validated availability, whether we validated credit limits against this customer. The order is in, and can start the picking process in order to ship that product out to that customer as quickly as possible. With zero human intervention, allowing your customers to self-service themselves easily and quickly, finding what they need. Now, we have much more robust functionality to help your customers depending on the type of products that you sell. We integrate our solution with all of the various stocking types that you manage within your JD Edwards system, whether it be a standard stock item or it be a kit of products with optional components that a customer can go through and select and reprice those kits with those parts that are required or optional, whether it be a configured product like a laptop computer or some sort of machinery that's configurable, and you need to walk through the various components so that your users can select exactly the configuration that they require for their product. Even if it's a multi-level style configuration, allowing customers to continue through and purchase exactly what they need for their configuration that they're looking to buy. So this allows your customer base really to walk through and purchase and configure their product as they're going through and selecting using standard sales configurator within JD Edwards. We also support lot and serialized products through the website, non-stock products if you sell them through the website. And we have capabilities that allow your customers really to find their product through what we call product finders. Product finders are a series of questions that you can drive to your customer so that they can go through a series of answers to find the specific product that they're looking for. So here we may have a customer that's interested in purchasing, a flat screen TV for maybe a conference room or a work area. and they're going to walk through a series of questions. The first one is, what's the screen size that fits the area that you're looking for? Well, it has to be in the 50 plus range. How many connection ports do you need? I need at least 3. What's the price range that you're looking for? $250 to $500. These are the results that meet that criteria. These are series of question and answers that you can set up to help your customer quickly and easily find that product. This is an example within the TVs, but the similar example you can set up like to find a particular part to a product. What is the equipment year manufacturing? It was manufactured in 2022. What's the model of your equipment? It's a 520 model. And what's the size? It's 0.05. And so these are the parts that fit your equipment so that you can find and purchase that equipment or that part that's necessary to be fixed within that piece of equipment. So we add this robust additional capabilities for your end users so that they can easily and quickly be able to find that product in order to purchase it, along with being able to see all of this historical information, such as order history, invoice history, pay invoices online, be able to drill down into the details of a particular order, see the status of that order, whether it's been shipped or not, what is the UPS tracking number or tracking information for that product, download documents that are associated to the product, be able to have set up my own product list or shopping list of products that I routinely purchase, upload my orders quickly and easily into the system, and then complete what I need to do so I can move on to the next task. Personalizing the experience through the content management system that we integrate with, so that you can, understanding your customer, really personalize their experience throughout, while providing your products, real-time pricing, inventory, and all of the capabilities that you desire to provide to your customer base. At this point, obviously, because of time, we're going to start wrapping up